It's draft season, people, which means it's time to stake my claim. I'm going to give you 4 players who I consider my guys this year, players that I am leaving every single redraft league with. Number 1 is T. Higgins. Let's look at some trends that I love from T. Higgins in 2020. I like to call them T trends. Last year, weeks 1 to 2, AJ Green was very heavily involved in this offense. He had 22 targets in 2 weeks. But after that, you can see a very clear effort from the Bengals to give T. Higgins every opportunity to be the guy. From weeks 3 to 8, before the bye week and before Joe Burrow's injury, T. Higgins was the wide receiver 9 in all of fantasy football. You might be saying, well, isn't Jamar Chase the big body guy that they've been looking for? I would argue they've already found their big body wide receiver. 6'4", 220 pounds, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins can coexist together. Think of Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald. Let's look at last year in 2020. I'm going to give you 2 stat lines from 2 different players, and you're going to have to guess the player. Player A had 74 receptions, 935 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Player B had 67 receptions, 908 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Player A is CeeDee Lamb. Player B, of course, is T. Higgins. There is so much hype around CeeDee Lamb. And, I get it. I love CeeDee Lamb this year. But why are we not giving the same respect to T. Higgins? They're actually in relatively similar situations. When you look at the Cowboys and the Bengals, both have great quarterbacks who are coming off an injury, both have star running backs in the backfield, attached to terrible defenses, and they're part of a trio wide receiver core that a lot of teams should game plan around. CeeDee Lamb is going as the wide receiver 11 this year, and I get it. Again, I get it. But T. Higgins is going as the wide receiver 27. What you don't realize is T. Higgins already broke out. You might just not know it yet. He's my wide receiver 18, and there's not a redraft league that I want to leave without him. The second my guy here is Austin Ekeler. This offense is going to be so much better this year, mostly because of the offensive line. You know that Justin Herbert is Justin Herbert. You know who Keenan Allen is, Mike Williams, but the offensive line is greatly improved. Rashawn Slater was drafted, and they also signed Corey Linsley, who was PFF's top-rated center. Anthony Lynn is also gone, which is great because hopefully there's some better decision-making within this offense. Speaking of coaches, his brand new head coach is in love with him, calls him a complete back, and I think he sees him as a 3-down back within this offense. Last year in games when Austin Ekeler played with Justin Herbert, he averaged over 19 PPR points per game. He was also on track to get 126 receptions. He's my running back 5. I think the upside in a PPR league cannot be underlooked. If I'm at the back end of a draft, 10, 11, 12, I love being at that spot now because I can always guarantee on Austin Ekeler there as my first round pick. My guy number 3 is Marvin Jones. Last year, he finished as the wide receiver 18, 15 in standard leagues, and this year he's going as the wide receiver 52. You can get this guy in rounds 10, 11, 12 sometimes. It's been widely reported around training camp that Marvin Jones is by far Trevor Lawrence's favorite target. Here's a quote directly from Trevor. Marvin has been the leader in the wide receiver room with an offense that he already knows. How does he already know this offense? Well, who's the offensive coordinator in Jacksonville? It's Darrell Bevell, who, by the way, was the offensive coordinator for Detroit for years before this position. Who was his wide receiver? You got it. It was Marvin Jones. There's already a relationship that this offensive coordinator has with Marvin Jones. There's already that trust that is built there. Keep in mind that in free agency, Marvin had a lot of different options on the table. He chose to go to Jacksonville, and that's probably because the role that they pitched to him. He's going as wide receiver 52. He's my wide receiver 40. I like Chark, I like Chenault, but I genuinely believe that Marvin Jones is one of the best value picks in all drafts this year. My guy number 4 is Javonte Williams. And every year there's one guy who I just make a gut call on. Last year it was Antonio Gibson, and that obviously worked out really well. But in every draft, there's always a player that you look at who has this unexplainable quality where you look at them and say, he's got it. This kid is a star. And when I look at this offense, I know you could be worried about Melvin Gordon, but personally, I think the talent is going to outshine Melvin Gordon. Javonte, in my opinion, does everything at the running back position better than Melvin Gordon at this point in their careers. I do believe that there will be a point in the season where it just doesn't make sense for the Broncos to take touches away from Javonte to give them to Melvin Gordon. And this might happen later in the year, so I get it. If he doesn't start week 1, his role will evolve to be the workhorse back by midseason, and you could be winning fantasy championships because of Javonte Williams. He's my running back 23, going as the running back 27 off the board. He's a league winner. I want to give a quick honorable mention, which is Tom Brady. You guys know, if you follow this channel, how much I love Tom Brady. He's my quarterback 6 this year. I think it's the best set of offensive weapons he's ever had in his career. Year 2 there in Tampa Bay. I think there's a chance he could throw 50 touchdowns. Call me crazy, but I'm taking Tom Brady as my quarterback 6. So what do you think of the list? Is there anyone here that you agree with? Maybe you hate the entire thing. It's okay to disagree. Just let me know down below. Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.